But that is how they use and they abuse power. Today, even when the president is just acting within the constitutional provisions, they are already, so, I mean, they are not, if this is how to go, nothing, then there are many more demonstrations that they will be going on. Because these demonstrations will not stop President Mahama from exercising the constitutional rights to ensure that the right things are done.
Okay. The process as we are seeing play out and from what Kojo Asante said, clearly the president is just following the rules or the law. 146, you receive a petition, you carry it to the Council of State. Council of State will deliberate upon it in consultation with you. Prima facie case, you form a committee. You may decide to suspend the CJ or not. He has decided to suspend the CJ for various reasons, because he says that staying in office may interfere with the process and that she needs full attention to prepare her defense and all of that. So she's on suspension. Why is the minority or the NPP, together with other opposition parties, unhappy with this process?
Yeah, thank you, Solomon. So the coalition of political parties coming together to do this demonstration tells you where this issue had gotten to for the coalition to resort to demonstration. I mean, there had been several debates on this subject, and it never got the ears of the actors that have been pushing this. So the coalition found it necessary to safeguard our democracy.
And the coalition is made up of the NPP, the Liberal Party of Ghana, which the NDP,
yes,
and then which other party? Well, that's just all.
I mean, so it's a coalition of political parties that, wants to, safeguard our democracy, okay, against this politically motivated intent to remove our CJ. But that was not the only item on the agenda for the demonstration. We also spoke against the mass termination of employment of the youth of this country as we know it. We also raised the issue about comments that now we are also hearing in the public space about the electoral commissioner as well. So these are all some of the issues that we had to demonstrate against. We believe we need to safeguard our democracy against all these injustices.
I see. The matter really, is it a case that a petition has been sent to the president? The president should close his eyes on the petition. Is that what you're asking for? Because once the petition comes, the law is that forward it to the next stage. He has done that. They have kept working in accordance with the steps provided for by the Constitution. So what should we do? What should we do? Should we have closed our eyes on it?
Solomon, if you follow this process with intent to remove the Chief Justice, I can tell you comments from some actors of the current government prior to even the process starting tells you that straight away there is an agenda, there is an orchestration. We have heard people coming out clearly to say that the Chief Justice will be removed unequivocally. They say it boldly. So they intend to remove the Chief Justice. You see that these had already been, orchestrated. It's just about going through the process. And you don't have to wait for people to enact what they have plotted before you start acting. Like I said, we've heard this well before the process actually started. And even starting the process, people were so confident, bold, to come out, to make these statements, that they will remove the Chief Justice. So you see that definitely it's not just a process. It is an intent to remove the Chief Justice by fair or foul means. And whatever counter arguments that, the coalition have put across all this while have fallen on deaf ears. So we had no option than to, demonstrate. And I believe the people of Ghana listen to us, and they've taken cue from that. And I believe the people that are orchestrating this, they will also take cue from, the demonstration that was held.
I see. Adam, Because your government is bent on removing the CJ. Indeed, top persons in your party in the past have talked about balancing the judiciary or the bench. The fact that the lady Chief Justice will have to go and all of that. So for them, it's like something which was planned, and we are just following the playbook. I mean, we're just following it step by step, and that's what is happening. And so they are concerned, really, that if this is not stopped, the next government that comes, maybe NPP or PPP, will also do the same thing, and Ghana will be, Ghana will be the loser for it.
Well, Salom, let me first commend the organizers of the demonstration and the police service and the Attorney General's office for working together to ensure that the demonstration was peaceful. Salom, when the NDC lost power in 2016, and we were in opposition from 2017, I was among the leading figures of the NDC when it comes to the organization of demonstration. In fact, the very first demonstration organized against President Akufo-Addo, I was the leader of that group. I was a convener for the Ghana First Patriotic Front that organized that massive demonstration when the government decided to sign some agreement for the establishment of the U.S. military base. You recall those demonstrations. I led it. And so I am very particular about the fact that the Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to assembly, the right to join any group, which includes the right to demonstrate or to join any public protest. And the same Constitution gives us some guidelines in accordance with the Public Order Act, how it should be done. And so I was very upset when we were in opposition, and on many times when we attempted organizing demonstrations, the governments of the day will either secure some injunction or they deliberately put impediments your way. And so I was excited that the Attorney General ensured that that demonstration took place. The police cooperated with the organizers. Everything went on peacefully, apart from the incident in Parliament involving the minority leader and some police officer. But I'm told investigations are ongoing, so I wouldn't want to speak to that. And so I'm happy the protest went on and all that. But when you come to the reason for the protest, Salom, I am still struggling to get any grounds, any reason, legitimate reason for which the demonstration was organized. Because we are working with laws. President Mahama, President Mahama is working within the Constitution or the constitutional provisions. The demonstrators have failed to tell us which constitutional provision has been breached, for which reason they decided to march onto the street. They have failed. And when you give them the opportunity, they keep beating around the bush like my colleague is doing on this platform, talking about some people having said they will remove the Chief Justice and all of that. Hey, look, Salom, you see, there's something I have learned in these few months in office that our party is in power. That when you are given power, you always must remember that it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the people. Prior to 2016, the kind of things they said, the way they bastardized Charlotte Osei, and when they came true to their words, even how they bastardized state institutions, how they use the judiciary and other state institutions against political actors in this country. Look, if you give me the platform, I can give you countless examples of how the NPP used power to intimidate the Ghanaian people, including myself. We talk about Ayawa so West Wugon. Very often the focus is on Sam George, but I'm telling you that I was a victim. I was one of those that the police brutalized on the University of Ghana campus.
You were there.
I was then a deputy national youth organizer of the NDC. So-called national security operatives slapped me, beat me up on Legon campus, and they are aware. These are some of the
what did you
issues.
do? You were causing
Simply
trouble?
because
You were misbehaving?
I never misbehaved. I only went to inspect, as I had even the monitoring tag given by the Electoral Commission. But that is how they use and they abuse power. Today, even when the president is just acting within the constitutional provisions, they are already, so, I mean, they are not, if this is how to go, nothing, then there are many more demonstrations that they will be going on. Because these demonstrations will not stop President Mahama from exercising the constitutional rights to ensure that the right things are done. Look, talking about the judiciary, in 2024, according to an Afro barometer, 9 out of 10 Ghanaians believe that the judiciary was not serving the interests of this country. 9 out of 10. Why? All those 9 out of 10, they were the NDC people. And what are we even talking about? The Constitution provides how a Chief Justice or any Justice of the Supreme Court can be removed. And even the President or any public official, Speaker of Parliament, MP, any of us, we are working with the Constitution. Petitions were sent to the President. The President acted in good faith, and as the Constitution directs him, directed the petitions to the Council of State and say, establish, if you establish a prima facie case, then you can proceed. It is for a good reason why the framers of the Constitution, in deciding how the composition of the Council of State is done, made provision for even a former CJ to be a member of the Council of State. It is for a good reason why the framers of the Constitution decided that in the composition of the Council of State, you have a former IGP and people of repute, many reputable individuals. As we speak today, the Council of State is being chaired by no less a person than the venerable former Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honorable Doa Jaho. Doa Jaho is not one of those individuals who will just sit and want to play politics with issues of the Constitution or issues of law. A renowned lawyer himself. The truth is that allow the process to go on. Why are you afraid? Why are you frightened? If indeed she has not done anything, if indeed she is clean, she will have her day before the committee. President Mahama, even unlike what you did, where you bastardized state institutions, where you had no recourse to the rule of law. Look, there was a time in this country.
Well, when you say bastardized state institutions, what do you mean?
Bastardized things, I mean how they disrespected and disregarded even these state institutions. For example, there was a time in this country where a court of competent jurisdiction granted bail to, I think it's Afoko's brother.
Gregory Afoko, yeah.
Gregory Afoko. They refused to execute it. That is how they bastardize institutions and look, if you look at and you have experienced how the NPP from 2017 to 2024 denigrated state institutions and set aside laws to do things their own way, they shouldn't be the people crying about even due process today. But we have no problem. They can go on as many demonstrations as possible.